This episode of WoW Weekly is brought to you by WoWweekly.net, your source for Warcraft and Blizzard news, guides, and editorials.
This week in Warcraft, item levels between raid difficulties will differ by 15 levels, as it currently stands on the beta at least. And mythic gear from garrison missions, what the hell is this about? I'm Mezzy and welcome to my weekly episode number 46. And this week I'm joined by LJ. How are you, LJ?
I'm doing quite well. Yourself?
Better than the last week, so yeah, not doing too bad. And also joining us is Matt, aka Vivi. How are you, Matt?
I'm alright today, aching a little bit, but not too bad.
One might call you a wuss, but let's not do that.
Well, darling, you know.
Alright. Shots fired, let's...
We're off to a flying start again.
Exactly. So let's get right into it. Yeah, item levels are going to differ 15 between raid difficulties. Now, this is going to mean an additional 8 item levels per tier. Now, I'm having a bit of trouble with this, because surely this would continue the inflation even faster. Huh? We're getting the stat squish to kind of reduce the amount of stats we're getting, and then they're going to increase the amount of stats we get per tier, speeding up how fast the inflation goes. What the hell?
The thing is, it all depends how they do it. Are they just going to be upgrading these stats in a very similar way they have done before, but just saying, look, it's 15 higher? So
yeah, exactly. It's like with the squish itself. I mean, the item level and such, what you get is less, but it might be that the item level itself can be higher, but the improvement less than it was before.
Yeah, like
percentage-wise.
At the moment, you can also say there's a bit of an issue where the fact there's 13 items different, but then you get the Warforged. Now, if you get a normal Warforged item, there's only 7, and I don't know. It's just a bit of a, do the people doing heroics get enough of a benefit or enough of a reward for doing heroics when they are considerably harder than normals? Like, we can go through normals, no offense, but we can go for normals now quite easy. If we all created alts in 540 gear, we could probably go through it quite normally because we all know what we're doing. But to do the heroic, you have to get the gear, you have to get the tactics right. It's a lot harder and a lot more involved. So is the current way it's done a decent enough award? So it's probably trying to sort of massage a lot of egos. You get an extra, it looks a bit better being a bit more, it's a more probably rounded number 15. I don't know, it's probably it can make sense. It's a bit pointless, 2 levels. I don't know. It just doesn't seem a bit of a, like, wow, this is annoying me.
Well...
Oh, go ahead, man.
No, you go first, LJ.
No, I insist.
Okay, then. Well, 2 item levels between difficulties doesn't seem much, but if you have 3 raid tiers, if we actually get 3 raid tiers, it'll still be, what, 24 additional item levels? And that's without any extra content that might increase it even more. So let's say there aren't any additional heroic dungeons later that make an even bigger increase, because raids have to start higher compared to that.
Yeah.
Then it's going to explode again. And that's just really my worry, because as I don't think it's in part 1 of my review of Warlords, but it'll be in part 2, but health for players is being doubled compared to what it would otherwise be for the stat squish if they hadn't doubled it for PvP. So if we're going to continue seeing these weird extra pushes to player stats, then we'll be back at high numbers very quickly.
Yeah, they've done a stat. I can understand where you're coming back. They've done a stats quiz to bring it down because it was getting out of control. But then all of a sudden, in an expansion or two, we could be back up there again due to what they're having to do. So
yeah,
it does make a bit of a laugh, a bit of a joke of it all. But this is Blizzard. This is their weird minds working.
I mean, this is not really something. In the long run, it might be a bit difficult again. They might have to squish again or whatever. But at the moment, I mean, I don't foresee a really great problem at the moment that needs a lot of warning. They've probably just considered this to be the better strategy to go forward instead of 15 instead of 13. I don't know why, of course. I mean, it could have just as well been 13. Might have just kept it down to 10. But maybe there's something planned for in the future. We don't know that yet. But I don't foresee a lot of problems at the moment with it yet. I mean, of course, later we have to think forward, but you shouldn't think too far forward because they did the squish after. This is now the 5th expansion.
Yeah, I want to say yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Vanilla, Burning Crusade.
Yeah, it's going to be 6.0, so yeah, plus 5. It's the 5th.
So, I mean, that's maybe something for 5 expansions from now. I mean, it's not good to actually push things like that forward, but it's still not something that needs their attention right now at the moment, I think.
Well, here's the thing. Right now, my character had level 100. I haven't really done dungeons, so I'm pretty much just in a few crafted items, a few items from garrison mission rewards, and then just leveling quest items. And I'm nearly at 200k health as a hunter. If they're going to push it that quickly, then we'll see 1 million health again, at least for tanks, at the end of this expansion, if not sooner.
How much did you started off with? How much?
How much did I start off? I think like 60k. From what I remember, at level 90.
So yeah, I already had 200k without getting
under
great gear.
But exactly, with quest gear, few crafted items, and some garrison missions.
I wouldn't say that they'll get to 1 million this expansion. I mean, I don't think so. But I mean, that you already are at 200k might be a bit much. Yeah. So maybe they'll do. Go ahead.
So you've got to be thinking tanks are going to have what?
At least 3 times as much.
Well, no, they don't have 3 times as much now. They only have what? I think
twice maybe.
I'm on 780k on fully buffed, and the tank's on a mil. So
yeah, but the real tank, exactly.
Yeah,
the tank's got 3. So you're probably looking at we're at 200k, they're at 300k, 400k. Then you're probably looking at the right amounts. It depends how it's all balanced out. But still, as you said, they've done a stats squish, and the tanks are still gonna be at 300, 400k. Where I agree where you're coming from with that fact that it does seem relatively high when they've squished it. They haven't squished it particularly very far.
Yeah, exactly. And here, this is then slightly different part of the subject. It's because of frickin' PvP. It's because of PvP that the health is being doubled. So,
Sorry, so I have memories. I thought when they were talking about stat squish, we were getting to the ideas of tanks having. I think that's what everyone thought. Tanks getting about 90, 100k. I thought that's the squish we were getting. I thought that's the amount of numbers we're getting. I don't know. I agree. Yeah, it does seem a little. The numbers don't. That the actual raid difficulty items don't worry me. It's just the numbers now involved in the squish, which are probably more of an issue than the actual raid difficulty and items getting from that.
Yeah, that's true. So I doubt that we'll get a numbers pass at this stage, though. It's really down to class balancing now rather than the item levels. Because the item level pass happened at least a month ago. So I doubt they'll be doing that again.
Probably not. Not so soon, at least.
No, so Blizzard, do something about it. FPVP, reduce the health back and make it last.
I don't know why they just don't do something random. That I honestly don't know why that to sort the PvP and PvE and PvP things out is they want to do a squish on PvE, so you squish everything to the numbers we were talking about, hundreds, blah blah blah. When you PvP, you get a buff with the current, and that buff gives you the health that they want for PvP. Why they're trying to keep both. It could just literally be as soon as you enter PvP, in PvP realms. I don't know. It's going to be hard because PvP realms and all this type of stuff. But I don't know.
For instance stuff, it's pretty easy. Battlegrounds, arena, stuff like that. Huh?
Yeah.
Everyone's buff, increase health by 100%. The problem is world PvP, because that's a lot more trickier. So then you could sort of cheat your way by turning PvP on, getting the health increase, and then doing PvE objectives.
Yeah.
Well, they could do it flagged if you're PvP that you can't complete quests, like when you're in a raid group. There's an easy way around that. Plus, of course, but then you're also you have the problem of PvP servers. I mean, how are you going to do that? Are you just going to keep everybody the same at PvPs in the world, but in battlegrounds they all get more health and such? So that's also something to think about, of course. I mean, you have to think about a lot of aspects. I mean, we're all PvEers. That's the truth. But we don't have. But PvP is still a very important and big part of the game. We can't just belittle it. I think that it should be done with. But I think that it's important for a lot of people, and that a lot of people who play World of Warcraft do it for the PvP and not for the PvE. So I think that when you look at health and such, I think they've also decided because that it's the way it is now is both the best for both worlds. May not be the best for one world and shittier for the other, but just keep it level. And I understand the problem that health and such can be a problem later on, but at the moment, no, I don't think it will be that huge of a problem. Maybe they can downsize the whole thing a little bit more, also for PvP, and just reduce that back to half again or something for everything. But yeah, I think we're gonna have to first watch and learn and see how it works out with the new item squish and how everything's gonna go. Also with the item levels. I mean, if it's always been imbalanced, PvP and PvE. If you compare, like one time it's better to have PvE gear than PvP gear and PvP, or in Burning Crusade there were even raiders with a lot of PvP gear because that was better than the PvE gear. I mean, there's always been a conflict of interest between both worlds, and it's also I can understand it's very difficult to try and sort that out. I mean, they've tried sorting it out with resilience by adding all sorts of stats like hit and expertise. Now you have multi-strike and all that, lifesteal. I think it's difficult for us to just say we don't want it. Let's put it. Let's scrap it. I think we just have to watch it and learn. And when it really, not now in the PTR, but when it really and the beta, but when it hits the shelves and everybody's playing it, I think then the major hot fixes, patches will come in saying, okay, we've underestimated it or we've overestimated it. We'll scrap it, we'll change it, we'll do something with it. But until then, I think we just have to see what happens and hope for the best.
Yes and no, because it's Blizzard who's giving themselves this problem. They're the ones saying, we do not want to adjust the way spells work in PvP compared to PvE. They're saying, no, we want all the numbers to be exactly the same. They could very well just reduce the damage and healing of spells on player targets, and it would solve this issue. But no, they refuse to go the path where stuff...
You mean like resilience? You've seen back to resilience.
Well, not sure if resilience would be the exact same thing. Because... basically, the point is that you have more health, so it takes longer to kill someone. So why not just have half the health and reduce the damage and healing of those spells to 50% on player targets in PvP situations? Yeah,
that'd be quite an easy thing to do, and it shouldn't affect all the health and everything like that.
But sure.
Yeah. But it's because
that is of course a thing, but that they could do. But probably I'm not sure if it's as simple as you say it at the moment. just reduce everything to half, basically.
Well, if I haven't identified an issue in it yet, but if you do think of something, let me know, because...
Well, I'm not a programmer, so I don't think like it. I mean, there could be something in the background that we don't know that's in the system.
The thing is, there's
that
loads
makes
of
it difficult.
Yeah, there's loads of different things we can say about it, loads of different ideas. We are PvEers. We don't like PvP. I don't mind it. It's nice to do every now and then, but we are not. We are PvEers, and to us, this game firstly should be a PvE game. That is where a vast majority of the content is. So, we all get annoyed at the fact that sacrifices are made for the PvE content to PvP all the time. We had a rant and rave when the PvP got an extra season. We were stuck in Orgrimmar. We've had these rants and raves, but hopefully they may listen to the PvEers one day and something may be done. At the moment, it's probably not going to be.
No.
So,
No.
I think we've flogged this cat to death.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's go over to Tom Chilton, huh?
Yeah. So, Tom Chilton, also known as Calgon, he took to the forums yesterday to tell us that we'll be able to earn raid gear via rare garrison missions. Now, there's a lot more to it because we already knew that. We already knew that when they first announced that it would be LFR quality gear. They have, however, decided to change that a bit. Now, there's a few details, so let me go over them one by one. You'll be classed as a type of player depending on, well, I assume your raid gear, but it could also very possibly be your amount of boss kills on a certain level, because they can easily track that as well. And if you get a rare raid mission and it's successful, you'll get gear that's the quality of the raid mode higher than that you're classed as. So let's say you're a normal mode raider, you will get heroic items from the rare raid mission. That pretty much covers the entire thing, how it's given. I wrote something in the doc I won't repeat on the recording, but what the hell? Mythic gear from raid garrison raid missions.
First things first, it's pants. Secondly, if it was items in your current, as you said, if you were a normal raider, if you did normal mode raiding and you got normal mode items, that'd make sense. It make better sense. To then say you can get upgrades from doing the garrison, to me, it seems like a huge gimmick to justify the garrison even more. Because at the end of the day, the garrison is a gimmick. They are placing a lot on the garrison. There's a fair bit of story this expansion. There's a fair bit of stuff they are putting in the world of Lords of War, which is coming out to add more story, so everyone knows about it. The newest one's come out this week. But the garrisons, at the end of the day, there's a lot riding on them. So it just seems to me that it's a bit of a rubbish excuse to make sure people do them. Now, I'm not being stupid. I was going to do garrisons anyway, but I'm definitely going to put more effort into them now because knowing I can get free items. The other problem I've got with it is for guilds who raid, sorting their loot system out, it's maybe proved a bit more of a bitch because a lot of people use DKP, some people use loot councils. Are the people who use the loot councils going to then take into account items that raid members have got from their garrison, even though it's nothing to do with the raid? Mm-hmm. And it just seems to me it's not very fair. I don't know how much work you're going to have to put into your garrison. You probably tell me in a minute.
A lot.
To get these types, so you are going to have to put a lot of work into it. But to get mythic is meant to be the be all and end all of what you're doing. To get mythic item levels, items from not raiding, is a bit not. It's not really very fair. It's not fair to the people who are going through the mythic to progress.
Yeah, I agree. It's a crooked way of doing it. But let me just get things straight here. Like, you are definitely going to get only upgrades then. So if you're flagged as normal, you're going to get heroic, and heroic you're going to get mythic then,
yes.
If I'm correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And if you're already raiding mythic, then you get a mythic item plus 1,000 gold, which, let's face it, in Warlords isn't really much.
No, knowing inflation is going to strike again. I mean, there's not going to be that much.
Yeah.
But I think that is a really weird way of doing it. I think they're just trying to figure out a new way of, working around valor points and getting upgrades or better gear like that. But I don't think this is the way to go. I agree with you guys. Because, it's just not worth. I mean, garrisons are good. We know there's a lot of emphasis on garrisons. I mean, Warlords of Draenor is like at least half of everything is focused on garrisons or has something to do with it in some way or another. So it's good that they want to try and do something with garrisons as well and implement that as well. But I don't think you should be getting upgrades. Maybe the same level. Maybe I don't know, something else, something else in that form or whatever. But I don't think you should be able to get an upgrade that will substantially make you better just because you're doing a mission or your follower is doing a mission. I mean,
Vanity items, transmog, something like that.
yeah, exactly. Vanity items, transmog, more materials, stuff like that. Like rare materials for your blacksmithing, whatever, herbalist, stuff like that. That can help you in other ways as well. But I understand that Blizzard is trying to figure a way out around the Valor points and the Timeless Isle and stuff like that. Try and make something new. And I encourage that because we all know the past things, well, or they were broken, or they weren't that great, or they were old and boring. So, I mean, it's good to try new stuff out and go.
Okay, we're lagging, it seems.
Am I lagging or?
Oh,
Skype has just caught up.
hello, you're back.
Oh, apologies for that. Is that me or is that Matt or?
Well, let's put it this way. Matt, was I lagging or was LJ?
LJ.
Okay, so it was you, LJ.
Oh, well, that's weird. I never have lag normally.
You still sound slightly robotic as well.
Yeah, you sound robotic for me, but Messi's fine for me. Anyways, let's keep on. Let's
get back to it.
Because now I forgot what I was saying. But I was saying I think it's wrong to reward somebody so highly for doing the thing that they're supposed to be doing, namely working on the garrison, doing quests with followers and such. And actually, you can reward that, but there's a limit to that, of course. And I think with giving people higher item levels than that they worked for is a wrong thing.
Yeah, it just screams of they're justifying the garrisons more than anything else, because the problem is with this expansion that I see with it is there are rumours there may only be two raid tiers in it. We do not know. That is one thing they've mentioned. There probably will be three, I'm hoping, but they have said maybe two.
Mm-hmm.
If you actually take the garrisons out of this expansion, it is very, very thin. Okay, yes, it's a new realm. Yes, there's new story, blah, blah, but you get that with every expansion.
Sure. But may I interject something?
No. Well, he asked.
I know, but because we've talked and thought about this a lot, but is with a game that's 10 years old, if there are no new features actually needed, then is it so bad that there aren't really many new features?
No, I know exactly what you mean. You don't need new features, but I'm just there's tweaking. Sometimes bringing new features in for the sake of new features, like people talk about player housing and stuff like that, because WoW, I think, have problems in the past. We haven't got blah blah blah. I should say, garrisons is a big thing of this. Is the big thing of this expansion.
It's everything the player housing for WoW.
Yeah, it is the player housing for WoW. If you strip everything else, if you strip garrisons out of the expansion, there's nothing there. Now, it just seemed of more of a gimmick to throw into the garrisons to make them more justified, if you know what I mean. And they've already put a lot in them anyway. There's already going to be a lot of content, and this just seems something else they're throwing in there because look, the garrisons are even more important now. So,
but that isn't a bad thing though, because garrisons are fun. They really are.
Say, unfortunately, still waiting for any access to beta. You know, still.
After all this time. Maybe you should ask a certain someone about that.
What, you? Come on,
no.
sort it out.
Someone else. I'm sure
I
you
already
have
did multiple times. Moaned viciously.
Oh well, nothing I can do about it.
Anyway,
Nothing you want to do about it either. So let's be fair.
Well, maybe he would actually do stuff for WoW Weekly on the beta. There hasn't been a character wipe in weeks, or at least a month.
I want to play, yeah. But anyway, enough of the ranting and raving.
Yes.
I'll go and play another game.
Yes, Diablo. Patch 2.1 has been quite fun.
It has.
Yes, it has.
So let's hurry up, guys. I gotta loot stuff.
Let's see. I think we pretty much covered everything for garrisons, though. Oh, one thing I will mention. If you want to actually get your followers up to that item level as quickly as possible to have a chance at getting the rare raid missions, make sure to get a salvage yard, because you can get follower gear upgrades a lot quicker from the salvage yard. In fact, besides the occasionally really rare mission that could reward an upgrade as well for your follower gear, I haven't really seen any other sources other than the salvage yard. So, get it, because then you'll actually have geared followers within a month or two.
Oh, I might check that on the beta, which I do have access to.
I hate you.
Alright, so let's wrap things up. So we can all get back to doing other things, because I know you guys want to play Diablo again.
We just don't want to be near you, man. It's okay.
I know. Well, that's not what was said last night with Cards Against Humanity.
No, different things were said last night.
Yeah.
Yes, we are avid Cards Against Humanity players, so yeah.
Yes.
We are horrible human beings.
We've considered live streaming it, but it's too horrible, even for the internet.
Well, there's horrible things on the internet, but this will definitely break some people. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Okay, so thank you guys very much for watching. I know this has been a bit more chaotic episode after being gone for a week, but shit happens, I guess. We've been busy with other stuff as well.
And there's not that much information at the moment. It's basically just waiting for what to happen at the moment.
Yeah.
So we're doing it. We're doing the best we can. Yeah. So give us a break.
Right. So in the meantime, who knows? We might cancel next week's podcast as well, depending on if there's news or not to actually discuss. But in the meantime, check out our website where editorials, columns, and stuff like that also happen. Hey, LJ. And something about missing a deadline or something like that.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, exactly. So, thanks to LJ and Matt for joining me again this week.
Always a pleasure.
Glad to be here.
If you enjoyed this podcast, and I'm starting to wonder if anyone will at this point, click on the like button, subscribe, leave a comment in the comments section. Follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/WoWweekly or twitter.com/bbmezzy. And I think I've covered pretty much everything. Website wowweekly.net. And I'm Mezzy, and we'll see you again next time.